Hi everyone, this is Rick. Church discipline exists in every single church. It is a matter of a church punishing people who don't obey the rules. And the rules are established biblically from the Bible. So, do you know that that really doesn't exist? Now, first thing people say is all through the New Testament. Well, it is, but it's not church discipline. What the New Testament talks about, especially Paul was really big on this because he was a Pharisee and he understood the intricacies of the law as well as the truth in the Spirit. Paul took that concept of that no sin can exist in Christ to the reflection of the church. He understood that the reflection of the physical and the spiritual, which I often talk about. And if there's no sin in Christ, there can be no sin in the church. So if a brother or sister is in sin in the church, they're to be separated from. Separate from fellowship. And that isn't designed to inflict a punishment. It's designed to inflict a penalty. And exactly that word punishment in 2 Corinthians that's used means to give a penalty. A penalty for an action. If you step off a cliff, the penalty is you're going to go to the bottom. Nobody's angry at you. Just what happens. That's the penalty of that action. The natural penalty for someone in the Spirit is to separate themselves from an individual who has fallen away from God. Not to yell at them, call them names, get angry with them, make them do penance and avoid them in the stores and try to make them feel guilty. All of that is not love. All of that is inflicting a judgment, which I'm going to get to in another video. And that's what Paul did. It was talking about in 1 Corinthians with the man who was sleeping with his father's wife. And in 2 Corinthians, he said this man's had enough. He's repenting. You need to take him back. He was telling these people things they should have done automatically walking in the Spirit. But since they were still infants in the Spirit, they didn't understand that, and they needed his guidance. Now, when he was talking to Timothy and Titus, he was talking about the discipline of the rules that he was laying down. Again, the mirror of the spiritual. Yet people take it as carnal rules, that all the rules of the church have to be followed, otherwise we'll inflict discipline. That's not what Paul was talking about. As Peter said in 2 Peter, and he was complained about this, that Paul's writings are being twisted and perverted by those who aren't walking in the Spirit. I'm grossly paraphrasing that, but that is in a sense what he was saying. He was talking about a specific thing that Paul was writing about, not this one, but it applies across the board. And we do that today. Church discipline as a discipline that we're supposed to inflict on others does not exist. Penalties that are inflicted on others are a natural penalty from turning away from God. Plucking out the eye, because it's better to go into heaven with one eye than to be cast into hell with both eyes if the eye causes you to sin. That's what Paul's talking about. It's not a carnal imposition of men upon men. That's lording over them as Jesus forbid us to do. Until next time, God bless.